around you now. Is it a color?
It's dark, but they're like half-formed glowing shapes.
Beautiful. Let's see if we can get a little closer and make them a little more clear. What can these shapes be?
They're swirling colors.
Is there a feeling that comes along with the colors?
Release.
Beautiful. Let's see if we can move around and find anything else. Just take your time, there's no rush. Does anything else appear before you?
Around me it's so blue, almost a fractal plant. But it's not a plant.
What other colors are there?
How the blue is all around me.
Soak in the energy of this blue light. And notice if anything else appears within this blue light.
It's like gold, like goldfish. They're not fish, but they're kind of just spots of gold floating around.
Let's look closely. See what else there is. Could this be water around you?
Feels like freedom.
See if you can look down and see what you're wearing. If anything at all. Let's look from above. What do you appear to be?
I'm not separate.
Does it feel like you appear to be one of those fish or something else?
I'm all of it. Or none of it. I'm not separate.
Beautiful. See if we can move around and find anything else that your higher self wants you to see at this time in this place. Is blue the only color around at this time?
Color's not really the right word.
Is it a feeling?
It's
Is there a feeling of weightlessness?
there is no weight. It's just like boundless. And yet all contained.
I'm going to now ask your higher self to move and carry you back in time and space to another time, another place, where we can gather information that will help you in the best way. Maybe it's a past life. Maybe it's on another planet. You are now moving and drifting back in time and space to another time, another place we can gather information from. You are now drifting away and floating back in time and space to another time or place. And now we're slowing down, we're stopping at the most appropriate time and place. We're going to drift down to the surface, wherever that may be. And once we get there, let me know what you see. What appears before you?
I don't see it, but I'm in Egypt.
Do you see the pyramids?
No, I sense the tall statues with the headgear.
Are there people
I'm
around?
standing between them.
Are you observing them?
I'm supposed to be looking outward, but I don't see it. There are stairs going down before me.
Where do they lead to? Let's look at the bottom of those stairs and see where they lead.
I guess you call it a plaza. There are structures on the left and right.
Are there people there in the plaza?
They're shadows. I think those are supposed to be people.
Okay. They will get clearer and clearer as we move closer. Is it day or night?
I can't tell. There are people walking behind me.
Let's have a look at your feet. Are you wearing any shoes?
Sandals.
What about your clothes, if any?
I guess it's a robe. It's not really a skirt. It's but it's kind of open around my legs.
What color is this robe?
Kind of off-white, but maybe a good kind of goldish around the bottom.
Do you appear to wear any jewelry?
Something on my wrist. Something in my mouth.
A What does it look like?
Goes from my mouth to my ears.
What could this be used for? What purpose does this thing have?
I don't speak except for when I speak for the oracle.
What does that look like when you speak for the oracle? Do people gather around to listen?
I leave my body.
Mm-hmm. Are you in a temple when you do this, or out in the street?
There are people before me.
Mm-hmm. Do you know these people?
Not normally. The whisperer I know.
Mm-hmm. What is this whisper?
They ask the question.
Mm-hmm. What kinds of
They watch my body.
Mm-hmm. What kinds of questions do they want answers to?
Where to plant.
What's the plan for?
Where to plant.
Mm-hmm. What kinds of food?
When will the flood come?
Okay.
Not flood as you think flood.
Mm-hmm.
The water washes the land. You must wait till that's done to plant.
Mm. What year is it? What number comes to mind?
14.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not, it's a different 14.
Okay. What name do they call you by?
Chirac.
Okay. Do we know what city you reside in?
I was in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't in a city.
Do you have people that travel with you? Maybe family?
No, I was cast away.
Why did that happen?
I spoke the truth.
Were they afraid?
I ask if you don't want to hear.
Mm-hmm. Were the things you're saying coming true and scaring them?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What stuff ended up happening that you told them about?
People die.
Mm-hmm. Did they think you caused it?
They turned their back on me and cast me out.
So where did you go when this happened?
I went to die.
How old were you?
22. They did not want to hear the truth.
So let's be there now on your last day. Taking your last breath. Looking from above. What happened this day? Was it natural causes, or did you try to end your life?
So thirsty. I just walked.
In the desert?
Yes.
Did you die of thirst?
Dehydration.
Were you all alone?
There are no people.
We're going to close this scene now. We are now going to move and carry you back in time and space to another place, another time we can gather information from. We are now drifting and floating back and back and back in time and space to gather information to help you in the very best way that we can. And now it's slowing down. We're stopping at the most appropriate time and place. We're going to drift down to the surface. It won't be anything sudden, just like a leaf gently drifting out of a tree. Once we get back down to the surface, let me know the very first impression that you see.
Children.
What else?
There's grass.
Mm-hmm.
And hills.
Beautiful. Are there any trees?
Along the hill lines and going further back.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's an orchard, dates.
Is there a house nearby?
I have a dog.
Beautiful. What kind of dog is that?
With long hair.
What do you call him?
Wolf.
You see a house or dwelling nearby?
There are 2 girls, but they're younger.
Are these your daughters or sisters?
Sister and cousin.
Okay. Anyone else there?
Sheep. I have to watch them.
Is that your chore or job?
It's what I do.
You take care of the orchard too?
No, they're shade.
What name do they call you by?
Orion.
Do they help out on the...
Tara's my sister.
Okay. And what about your cousin?
She all right.
Is anyone else there with you?
I have my staff. I don't need anyone else. I can watch them alone.
Okay.
I'm 9. I'm big enough.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to your home that you sleep at night. What does it look like?
Has a thatch roof.
Mm-hmm.
One room. But behind we have another for stuff.
Are you the only one that sleeps in there?
That's where I sleep when in. Sometimes when I'm far away, I sleep in I sleep with the stars.
Mm-hmm.
But when I come back, I sleep there.
Okay. What else do you do with your time?
I'm a good fisher.
Mm-hmm. Do you help feed the family?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't shear the sheep yet.
Okay. Why not?
I'm only allowed to watch them.
Who says you're only allowed to watch them? Is there someone in charge of you?
I am the man of my family.
Mm-hmm.
But the head, he says, I cannot shear the sheep.
Do you have a partner? A lover?
9.
9? Do you have any children?
That would be later in my life.
Okay, we're now going to close this scene and move forward in that lifetime to a time that greatly impacted you in some way. Be there now. What is happening around you?
My mother is dying.
What is she dying of? Is it old age or a sickness?
She's not old. She's 42.
Mm-hmm. Is she having any symptoms?
She's tired.
Mm-hmm.
But she's hot.
Mm. Is the family around her?
There's only me and my sister.
Mm. And what's your mother's name?
Don't remember.
What do you tell her?
that she will go with Father. He left us long ago, but she will go with him now.
Okay. So you're helping her transition?
Shh. Don't tell them.
Don't tell them what?
They mustn't know.
What mustn't they know?
But I can see the others.
Would that scare them? Why can't you tell them?
It's a secret. If they had known when I was little, they were taking me away. And I had to be the man of my family.
So you had to hide your gift?
Cannot tell anyone. Never.
Do you talk to the beings that you see?
Yes, that's why I know Mom's going to be the Father.
How does that make you feel?
Sometimes it makes it very lonely. The head, he says he speaks with them, but they don't.
The beings not speak back to him?
He doesn't speak to them. He doesn't see them. They know that.
Okay, we're now going to move to the end of that lifetime. Be there now as an observer. What do you see?
I have my place. It's not in the village, but they come to me anyhow.
Why do they come to you?
They know I speak.
Who do you speak to? Who do you connect with when you're speaking?
They're elders. Is it as it should be? They don't leave us.
What kinds of questions do they come to you for?
Comfort, guidance, wisdom of their elders.
And how come you can connect and they can't?
I have the star.
And how did you get this star?
I've always had the star.
Can others learn how to do this as well?
You have to let go. I was born with a star, but it's not It's hard to explain. I've always had it. I think it just means you don't not listen.
Okay. So you're the only one in the village that can do this?
I see stars within others. But they're hidden. They're just afraid.
What are they afraid of? What fears do people hold on to?
Afraid of dying. They're afraid of what's on the other side. That's why they hide their star. If you look closely, you'll see it there.
Is it like a spark? Spark of light?
It's a star behind their eyes.
Is there something...
Sometimes they bring young to me.
What for?
They're hoping to find another star.
Are you able to heal them as well?
Yes. Even though when I was younger, this more than the star you had to hide.
So what made you change your mind about helping others and using your gift? Did something happen?
I left the village.
Okay. Did you leave your friends and family behind?
I had to go elsewhere. I live on the hill. The trees behind me and the river in front.
Beautiful. Is there a certain name for that country or city or state?
Home.
Do we know where in this world this place is?
So we would call the border between Germany and Switzerland.
Okay.
I don't live high in the mountains. It gets too cold there.
Okay. Is there anyone else that lives around you, or are you all alone?
They come to visit me.
So they have to travel a far distance?
Some travel far. Less than a day's walk from the nearest village.
Do you ever go into the village?
Not really.
So how do you get your goods? Do people bring it to you?
Yes.
Do they bring you gifts?
gifts exchanged.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Okay, we are now going to close that scene. And you're now going to move back in time and space to another place, another time we can gather information from. We are moving, drifting and floating back in time and space. We're now slowing down and stopping at the appropriate time and place, and drifting back down to the surface. Once we get there, let me know what you see.
So joyous.
Beautiful. Is there an occasion? An event?
So many awaken now.
Mm-hmm.
So beautiful.
What does it look like?
I'm standing in front of the healing temple.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you would call it a large hill.
Mm-hmm.
Flowing down before it is the city, to the ocean below.
What city do they call that?
Atlantis.
On this day, why is everybody joyous? What has happened?
A new class of graduates.
Is it a school that you have to graduate from?
Graduation occurs when you're ready. Sometimes in groups, sometimes only one or two. But yes, you graduate.
Is there another level after that?
Normally you would travel. You would go out from the temple.
Mm-hmm.
But you would always be welcome at the temple. You could bring those you chose to work on the temple without supervision. That's what graduation is.
Mm-hmm. What does this temple look like? What is it made of?
The portal you would call a circle of columns with a dome on top. That's open. It can also be used as like a seating area for teaching, or for just enjoying the day.
Do you have a job there?
I teach. That's why graduation is so joyous.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a name they call you by?
It's really just an honorific. It's really just teacher.
Okay. Do you have a color you wear? Or anything of that sort?
White.
Mm-hmm.
It's white because when you come to the temple, that is where the color is.
What else goes on in this temple besides the teaching?
Healing.
Mm-hmm. Let's go into one of the healing rooms and have a look.
Which room? Come with me to the orange room.
Okay.
I look above you. See the crystals on the ceiling?
Mm.
At the right time of day, the light will shine through them.
Mm-hmm. Will that magnify the energy?
Of course.
Is it colored orange for a certain purpose?
There are 7 rooms. And then a central room.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on what we are working on, we will pick a color.
Mm-hmm.
If multiple colors are needed. See here, see how the wall slides back?
Mm-hmm.
And notice in each room how there are 2 I'll say couches.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand the concept of a template?
Mm-hmm.
We would place the template in the right chair and the person needing help in the left. Now see, as you bring the energy up, see how you can unfold the template with the person receiving to adjust their energy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't reach out with your hands, it's with your mind.
Okay.
There, see how it's released?
Mm-hmm.
See how you bring her in alignment?
And what about the central area? The center? What's there?
We use that less.
Why is that?
It's special. On certain days of the year, at certain times,
Mm-hmm.
the light through the 7 rooms can all be concentrated into the center room. This isn't about healing. It's about transformation.
Does it transform the people or the place?
People.
Okay. What does that look like when they transform?
There are 2 types of transform. One would be for those who've been healing a long time, to take them to the next step.
Mm-hmm.
To be a teacher.
Okay. Do they use sound frequency?
Yes, though not all of it can be heard.
Is it felt? Like a vibration?
Yes.
What creates that vibration? Is it a chime or a bowl or something larger?
Yes. There are chimes, but there is a larger.
Mm-hmm. What else can you tell me about this temple?
I feel great joy being here.
Mm-hmm. Soak it all up.
There was no hiding.
sleep at night? Do you sleep in the temple or outside of it?
Often outside. Beautiful nights.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes inside if the weather is non-cooperative.
Mm-hmm. Does Atlantis have storms as well? Does it rain?
We have rain. I don't know that you would call it storms. They're gentle rains.
Okay.
It's easier than carrying water.
Mm-hmm. Let's move forward in that lifetime to a time that greatly impacted you in some way. Be there now.
It's my transition day.
How old would you say you are?
104.
Mm-hmm. Are you alone or people around?
No, it's a joyous day.
Mm-hmm.
I am a little sad to leave. So many I love.
Mm-hmm.
But it's time.
How do you know it's time? Is there symptoms you have?
I'm already shifting.
What does that
You
look
reach a
like?
vibrational point where it's hard to stay within the 3D.
I see.
At first, that's very useful. As you are aware, there are beings that don't live in the 3D.
Mm-hmm.
And when you shift, it's easy to communicate with them. They have much knowledge to share.
Is it a celebration there in Atlantis when people
Yes.
are transitioning? So what does
That
that
is
look
the
like?
other purpose of the central room.
Okay. Is there a ritual that they do?
You gather in circles
Mm-hmm.
around the celebrant.
What
And
else
when the
happens?
sun reaches solstice,
Mm-hmm.
when the sun reaches noon on the solstice, the light from the 7 rooms all enters the central room. All gather around with their intent of love.
Beautiful.
And celebrate as you turn to light.
Is there a body left behind?
The clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a small amount of ash from hair.
What do they do with that ash?
There's not much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. See them placed in the wall?
What are they doing that for?
So the teacher never leaves.
You mean his essence?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What happens next?
Notice the tools in my hand. So they come down to points.
Mm-hmm.
With these I can direct the energy.
Mm-hmm.
the location upon the body that needs it. So I don't even need to enter their field.
Okay.
And I do not disrupt the template.
Beautiful.
They fit in your palms.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how they come down.
Yes.
You might want to remember these. They would be useful.
Okay. We are now going to drift away from that life. We are drifting and floating away from that life, leaving the being there to continue on his journey. He will find peace and find what he's supposed to find. We are leaving him there to continue on his own journey. He will find peace. He will find what he's supposed to find. We're leaving him there to continue on his own path. And now I want all the consciousness and personality
I'm
of
sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You need to remove this.
Okay. What is it?
Governor.
I'm going to send all my light there. When did it get placed there?
I placed it there before this birth.
What for?
I would not give a motorcycle to a child. Certain things should not be had until you're ready.
Isn't that ready now?
Yes.
Okay. Is more of his gifts going to come online?
Yes. That's a governor.
Mm-hmm.
Some would call it a block.
Okay.
That has a negative connotation. A governor is a safety device, so you don't access things until you're ready.
Right. So what will he be able to tap into now?
A lot more vision,
Mm-hmm.
much more connection between his hemispheres. He is already experiencing slipping between.
Mm-hmm.
This will allow communication much clearer.
Beautiful.
You must understand, even as you talk now, Matt doesn't see the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
He remembers experiencing them. That is why the first scene he went to was just color, really just darkness and colors.
Mm-hmm.
Because you were asking him to see, and he doesn't do that. He remembers.
Okay. Got it. Am I speaking with Matt's higher self now?
Yes,
Okay. May I ask some questions?
certainly.
Beautiful, thank you. Is there any foods at this time that he should increase or decrease for his vibration?
These are really old concepts. Any food can be eaten with intent and be healthy.
Good to know.
We would suggest at this time frame that you avoid most commercial, industrial animal proteins.
Okay.
We're not saying you need to go to be a vegan.
Mm-hmm.
The bees and butterflies don't mind that you eat their honey.
Okay.
If done in a respectful way, eating animal protein is fine also. It is your current society's abuse of the whole concept of animal husbandry that makes the food the issue.
Okay. Is Matt drinking enough water?
In general, yes. He needs to be more aware that during healing, transmutes a lot of water. He needs to drink more than But there's a certain limit to the amount of water you can consume, eh?
Okay. How many glasses in general should he drink a day?
On a normal day, Matt drinks about a gallon. That's a reasonable amount.
Okay. Is he getting enough exercise?
We would prefer to see him out in the woods more.
Okay.
We understand the contention of your time. But we would prefer to see him in the woods more.
Okay, good to know. What should he focus on in the next 6 months to maximize alignment with his path and growth?
It's okay if he puts down what he considers his burden. He will find the transition difficult because he's done it so long. He should focus on getting out more in the woods.
Okay.
And a bit more on physical. We've been telling him for a while he needs to focus a little more on physical.
Okay.
He would like to think that the healing he's going to do can transcend that physical. There is still a lot of physical manipulation that will come along that he will need to do. And the strength to do that on certain body forms will require that he be in good shape.
Okay. Is his root chakra open and balanced?
Yes.
Okay. Can we do a body scan as I ask these questions?
Certainly.
Thank you. Any preparation we should do to prepare for the next 2 to 5 years?
Be calm.
Mm-hmm.
Open your heart.
Okay. Is it that simple?
The hardest things are always simple.
Okay.
The simplest things are always hard. Think of any difficult task you've gone through, and once you're done, you realize, oh, now that I understand, it's really quite easy.
Mm-hmm.
The hard part will be so many around you will not be willing to be calm, will not be willing to be love-centered. There is much fear that needs to be transformed now. So the most important thing is love. Be love.
Okay. Do we know what's coming in the next few years?
This is the transition that so many have prayed for, that so many have worked for. I can't tell you the number of days, but that's really up to you. But it is much less than people expect.
Okay. Is the full transition going to happen in our lifetime? Transformation?
There are those here now who will not be here. But it will excuse me. The council would say that depends on what you mean by full trans
into the new earth.
Yes, within this lifetime, the new earth will be here. But that is not an end goal. So many think that is the end goal. It's not. It is a beautiful transition to the next. We would tell you a secret. This is not anyone's last life.
Right.
They're going to come back again. They're going to want to come back.
Mm-hmm. Will there still be chaos when they come back?
Now,
It'll be a change?
it will be, those who come back to the earth, it will be the new earth.
Mm-hmm.
The chaos you see around you today will not exist in that world.
Okay.
It could not exist in that world.
Right.
Those who wish to experience chaos will have to go to other places. Some people will still choose to experience chaos. They have not learned all the lessons that chaos can teach.
Okay. We have some questions about his health as far as his hemoglobin being low. What caused that 6 months ago?
He is correct in the description of the wrestling with the 5 entities.
Oh, okay.
That began this process. Okay. But you need to understand at one level that was a graduation. It was removing a single entity at a time is an easy process.
Okay.
You notice the child that came forward has not returned.
Yes.
She was brought forward as a test.
Oh, I see.
To remove the 5 entities, well, remove the 4 and the 5th that appeared at that point, and for no one in the room to be injured was a test. No one else received injury from this process. This was a graduation. At that point, we began the transformation of his body.
And what about his shoulder? What was that from?
I want you to listen carefully. I don't want you to misunderstand what we are saying now. It is important that you do begin to live more in your light without being shielded.
Okay.
At times, Matt steps ahead of where he is. He was doing fine with the 4. It was when the 5th came behind that he did that. He was not connected enough to his higher support and his guardians to notice that. Let's say that the healing length of time was a reminder. We were also, at that point, there were still the 5th dimensional dark entities, which used to rule upon this earth, have all stepped away.
Okay.
But those who worked for them have not. They are still incarnate. Okay? That enables, with intent, an opening at times. And that's what occurred.
Okay. Is his shoulder back to normal now?
We are completing the healing, yes.
Okay, beautiful. Can we check the rest of his chakras to see if any are unbalanced?
We've been trying to address his creativity chakra.
Okay. Is there anything trapped in there? An energy trapped?
We would say it's more a balance issue.
Okay.
There's a strange interaction at this point in his life with his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And he's attempting to reach balance at shutting down to a level that she is living at.
Okay.
And being open fully is causing disruption, imbalance, consternation.
Okay. So what should he do to help with that?
He needs to focus on driving his creativity into other means.
Okay.
Pulling his creative energies higher.
Okay. Are all the rest of the chakras balanced?
His chakras are all balanced. It's a question of further opening.
Okay.
His crown needs to be, while it is open, as demonstrated by his communication, it needs to open further along with his heart. Though that statement I could make for many, that basically even people who have a open and balanced heart chakra, this time is asking that they expand it further.
Okay, and how do we do that to expand it further? Just by meditating?
Meditating, going within. Meditation takes many forms. We do not wish to limit you to the concept of sitting in the lotus position and going Om.
Okay.
Meditation can occur as a walk in nature. Meditation can occur as looking at a beautiful sky.
Okay.
It's really a matter of connecting to beautiful events, feeling beauty at a very deep level,
Okay.
and allowing that beauty to expand within you, opening your heart to compassion for others. This is really the key. Meditation is a powerful tool, but don't limit yourself to thinking of meditation as a small box.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you. He has a general question about Earth and humans. Can you say further about that?
We understand his question. He's looking for guidance about what is coming.
Okay.
He's frustrated at times with when people ask what is coming next and he can't tell them.
Does he need to know?
No.
Best to just be in the moment?
He just needs to be now.
Okay.
Here, understand, you're forming the new. When we said that there is no path laid out right now, that's because that's where you're at. You are at the fulcrum.
Okay.
You guys decide what's going to happen. Yes, it's going to be beautiful compared to where you are now, but this is a new creation. Think of it as a birth.
Okay.
Before you birth a child, you don't even know if it's going to be a boy or girl. Does that diminish the joy of the birth coming?
Right.
Once you hold that child, do you really care if it was a boy or a girl?
Right.
It's a birth. Just be excited about the process.
Okay. He wants to know what the colon cancer in his family stems from. Is it something in their DNA or lineage that's been passed down?
Yes, so that line has been broken.
Okay.
It was about along his masculine line. There was much physical dominance In today's phraseology, there would even be considered abuse. There was a lot of negative emotion carried through that family line.
Okay.
Even though that family line carried healers with it also. It was an existence of both sides of the coin.
Okay.
Trying to learn both sides. Those who went too far one way then experienced colon cancer.
Okay. So it's no longer in the family? Did Matt clear that?
Matt has cleared it through his descendants.
Okay.
There is still some left in the lines of his siblings that still needs to be cleared.
Okay. So now that he knows where it stems from, he could speak to them about it and heal it.
It can be healed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not clear that they are open to hearing.
Okay.
Matt chose a very dark childhood. His siblings have not all released those things from their youth. When they hold them so tightly, how can I let it go? How can I let it go?
Okay.
Open your hands.
Yeah.
Many small things are still held tightly.
Mm-hmm.
As long as that's what you are focused on, as long as you are completely focused and intent on that, it is hard to step past those things. Even when you know that's all you need to do, it's still hard to let go, because what will you become?
Right.
Look at the fear of becoming a healer. Is that not a beautiful thing? And yet, how many people do you know that have become healers that were afraid of that process?
Mm-hmm.
How many people that you know have been told they have the gift and yet still walk away from it?
Right. Has Matt and Aurora known each other before? In other lifetimes?
Do you not remember Atlantis?
Well, it comes up in quantum sessions, but no, I do not remember it.
You were known there.
And how was I known? As a healer?
You were in his graduating class when he turned 82.
Okay. What name did she go by then?
The tongue was different then.
Okay.
So let me say Celestine.
Okay. Was it the only lifetime they knew each other?
That was one of the most dramatic, one of the most impactful. There's another life.
Mm-hmm.
Matt chooses not to think of that life.
Okay.
You spoke of it earlier today.
Okay. Are they meant to do something in this life together, connect, to do something for humanity?
As we told you, probability waves are much harder to discern at this juncture.
Okay.
If you think about future as waves of standing probability, then yes, we would say there is an intent in this lifetime to do additional work together.
Okay.
You might say it probably falls closest under a temple or healing center.
Okay. What did he need to learn from those lifetimes that you showed him earlier? Was there a lesson in all of it?
The first was about being alone and never being alone.
Okay.
The second was about understanding that knowing and sharing do not always go together.
Okay.
That when people are not ready, sometimes it is better to wait.
Okay.
That if you are willing to be patient, that in the end it will still bloom fruit.
Okay.
When someone's afraid, you can't in any way convince them over their fear. They need to choose. As Paul described yesterday, he's been sober now for 38 years, but it wasn't until he decided that he was going to be done with it, that he could be done with it.
Okay.
Fear is the same way. You have to decide that you've had enough. That the unknown is better than the known state you're in.
Okay. Is there any information that we need to know about his kids to help them?
Jasmine and Talia are just now starting to bloom.
Okay.
So as any teenager, they have much to grow through. Just standard teenage stuff. There's nothing he needs to do to change the path they're on.
Okay. What lessons did Laura bring into his life?
Again, he knows the key one, that not all things are meant for you to heal.
Okay.
Some lessons are being lived for other people. Accept the beauty and the joy and the wonder of people in your life while they're there. Don't wait to enjoy it tomorrow.
Right. Does Laura visit him or leave messages or signs?
Laura has visited him multiple times. Laura visited him the night she died.
Okay.
He's aware of that. She visits less now. She is off doing other work. We believe he is content with this.
Okay.
He understands this.
Okay, beautiful.
One might say the drawback of having a master in your life is that you have to understand the master's going to move on.
Right. About his job, should he stay at his job or is he meant to do something else?
His current job is coming to an end.
Okay. What is he meant to do for a job?
We would have him do nothing for about a year.
Okay. What should he focus on during that year?
Again, we will tell you to listen carefully, that what we are saying is not a selfish act. It is a soulful act. He should focus on himself, on his personal growth, on getting his body into a better physical shape to do the tasks that we have set for him.
Okay.
He does not need to go out and be busy.
Is he going to have new guides coming in?
He has 3 new guides now that he's not really fully aware of.
Okay. Do they have names or colors?
I think it's inappropriate to give names yet.
Okay.
Red. I'm looking for the right color to use that Matt will know. You come with different boxes of crayons. So it's blue.
Okay.
But let me say crystalline sky blue.
Okay.
Yellow, which of course is to deal with people's emotional issues.
Okay.
There are 2 additional guides queued.
Will they come in later?
Yes,
Okay.
most probably.
What angels does he work with?
Archangel Michael. He works with the Ascended Master Saint Germain. There are 2 angels whose names he does not know. By limiting them to the term angel, which most people limit into the Christendom paraframe, that becomes the part of the naming issue.
Okay.
Maybe most closely Jeremiah, Zechariah, and the other doesn't know the name.
Okay. Is there anything we didn't mention today that he needs to know at this time?
He is aligned already.
Okay.
He is in the center line. He needs to be comfortable with the fact that it won't be comfortable.
Okay.
This is a good message for all today. It's not going to be comfortable these next 3 years.
Okay.
There will be rest periods along the way.
Okay.
But the dam has burst.
Okay. Is there anything Aurora needs to know at this time?
Aurora has 2 governors attached to her that she needs to be thinking about when she's ready to let them go.
Okay. Where are they located?
One is on the right behind her ear. The other is on the left toward the top of her skull. They're about gifts, beliefs, more fully speaking.
Okay.
She should begin to become comfortable with the concept of doing speaking, not just to individuals, but to publicly.
Okay.
Allow that concept of being comfortable with that to sink in. Be aware that the concept of stage fright before has nothing to do with being on the stage.
Okay.
Okay. Even many great singers have confessed that even through their whole career they had that.
Okay.
And it was not until they were on stage and became in the moment with spirit that then it falls away. And just accept that, hey, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to do it. It's going to always work out. Lets you step through that stage fright.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Anything else we didn't go over?
Again, we would say be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention to your emotions. Are they your emotions?
Mm.
Or are you picking them up from elsewhere?
Yeah. Okay.
Deal with your emotions. Observe them. Don't become attached to them.
Mm-hmm.
On the other emotions, think about just transmuting them. Yes, in a world full of mature light beings, you would not have to do that for everyone. You would do that for your children, perhaps, but not for everyone. Right now, you are doing it for many that are not your children of biological form, but are your children spiritually.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the words of wisdom.